What's up, everybody? That's back, and yes, as the thumbnail says, I did something. So for the past year, I've really been getting more into photography. Really, past few years. I really started out with using my iPhone. Taking family portraits, taking family pictures. Capturing events and special moments and everything. And I really started getting more and more interested in photography and videography and getting better at it. And the iPhone does so much that it's really, even using certain apps like Halide and the Moment app and some of the other apps out there that let you take more control. It's really hard on an iPhone to take a better picture than what they do. Apple puts so much into the software behind how they process their pictures that it's really difficult for you to do something better in camera using one of those apps, unless you're like one of those super professionals. So I really wanted to learn more about photography. So last year I got the Canon M50. Now this is an APS-C camera. It's, as you can see, it's kind of small, but it was a great camera to learn on. I mean, I really, really love this camera. If you're looking for a first camera, I cannot recommend this camera more. I shot YouTube videos on this camera. I took a lot of pictures, portraits, product photography, you name it, I've done it. Flat lays. I love this little camera. It's light, it doesn't get in the way. You can do a lot of things with it. The biggest hurdle for me using this camera was the lack of lens selection. I mean, there's more lenses coming out, but there really wasn't a big lens selection, and it's an APS-C, therefore it's a crop sensor on this camera. And I really wanted to do more. I really wanted to be able to do some different things, and this camera was kind of limiting in that. I wanted to do more as far as my lens selection, and when I started looking at it and looking at costs, it was like, well, for how much these lenses cost, I can just upgrade the camera and get some new lenses. So I was really waffling back and forth between just upgrading the lenses and getting a new camera. And then in July, Canon announced the R6 and the R5. And these cameras blew my mind. You look at the specs and everything, and even watching some of the initial hands-on videos. A lot of people, Canon ambassadors, but still, I really loved what I saw. And then they came out, they had issues with overheating, and people were talking about that. And then you had the 4K 120 in the R6 and all these other things. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just stick with my M50, see what they come with out in the next couple of years. But then as I thought about it, I was like, no, I really want to take it to another level. I really want to take the photography and videography to another level. So is the R6 or the R5 really for me? And the R5 was out of the question. It cost too much, and I'll never use the 8K. A lot of features that makes it cost more, I'll never use. I'll never use 8K. I really probably won't use the 4K 120 that much. So it's like, do I really need that? Are those really something if I should spend an extra $1,000 or $1,500 for? And the answer is no. That is not worth it for me. So then I was really looking at the R6, and then Sony came out with a couple of cameras, full frame cameras. I was like, ooh, maybe, the S3 or the A7C. But then those cameras are really more focused on the video side, and I wanted something that I can use for both. I'm really more into the photography right now. I'm not really I won't use this camera, the R6, too much for video stuff for YouTube, and then my talking head stuff isn't really that long. It's 15-20 minutes maybe. So it's the perfect camera for me, because I really am more into the photography side right now, and I can grow using the video side, but I really like the way it's set up. And as I watched reviews, as I did more research and I read things, I said, yep, the R6, Canon R6 is the right camera for me. And you have a wide selection of lenses. The RF glass is keeps growing. That is where Canon is really putting their research and development into. This is where they're really putting their money into. So all that's going to happen is they're just going to keep expanding that. They're going to keep adding more and more lenses. to the collection. They already have some very nice lenses that are at an affordable price. They have the 35mm prime. It's a 1.8 macro, and it's like $400. You can get it for like $400. They have the new 85mm macro. That's like a $600 lens, and it's really sharp. It's really nice. And I got the kit lens. I got the 24 to 105, the f4 to 7.1. I really didn't see the point of putting the extra money right now into the other kit lens that they had available, which was the f4, the 24 to 70 or 24 to 105 f4 lens. It's just like, for me, where I'm at right now, it doesn't make sense to put the extra money into that lens when I can, for that, I could get 2 more lenses plus the kit lens and the adapter and get the 50mm, their nifty 50 that coming out, that's RF, that's coming out beginning of December, for the same price or about the same price as I would have paid for just the one kit lens with the camera. So yeah, I ended up getting like, 2 more lenses for the same price. So for me, that just made way more sense. And I've had the Canon, the R6 for a week, and the biggest differences so far that I've noticed between this and the M50, of course, is just the size. Like, I was like, wow, this camera is so big. It's a good heft, but it's not too heavy, and it really fits my hands. I have kind of fat hands, big hands. So as you can see, the grip, this fits my hand very, very well. I love that I have more control, and that is something that I'm really, like I said, I've had the camera for like a week. I'm really still learning about it a lot. So like the settings and but I have so much more control with this camera than I did with the M50. The M50 is really set up for beginners, and that's a great thing. Like I said earlier, this is a great startup camera. Like, this is the camera, if you want to get your first real camera, to me, you can't really do much better than the M50. They have the Mark II out right now, and it just improves on this so much. So M50, definitely a great starter camera, but like I said, I want to take it to another level, wanted to step the game up. So the R6 was the right camera for me. I've done some videos. I did my iPhone 12 Pro Max unboxing using this camera, and I loved it. My biggest concern was processing the files, be it the raw picture files or the video files. I'm currently using an iPad Pro, the 2020 iPad Pro 12.9 inch, and you hear these stories about, oh, the R6 footage is hard to process, the R5 footage is hard to process, the Sony S3 7S3 footage is hard to process. So that was another concern that I had, but people had allowed you to download footage. I was seeing I could process it on my iPad, and I processed the whole thing on my iPad. It like chewed right through it like it was no problem. So yeah, that is great. I'm able to process using Lightroom Mobile, the subscription app, and so the files haven't been a problem. I really right now don't have anything negative. Like I said, I've had the camera for like a week. I'll probably in like a month or two give a longer review, like a longer hands-on. But so far, I really, really, really like this camera. I really can't wait to really push it and, like I said, expand my knowledge and just get better. So if you got any questions, let me know in the comments below. And like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, peace.